Hello.
Good evening.
All right, we'll wait a few more minutes and see if anyone else decides to join us. Has everyone here registered for Onshape? I would assume so since you were on the last meeting. Okay. For some lessons, we'll be including an Onshape team workspace. For that, I'll have to add you to it using our email. Has anyone not been added to the workspace? Okay, let's get started. All right, can everyone see the screen? Okay, just let me know if you can't. So today we're just going to be doing a CAD exercise in Onshape. It may seem difficult at first, but I'll be providing help, of course. So with using the knowledge that we gained from last lesson, regarding sketching, defining, evaluating, extruding, and cutting, other features and tools, we'll be constructing what you see in the background there, the Lego brick. I'll be providing you with what's called a technical drawing. You can think of it like a blueprint, but this will include almost every single measurement that you can make on this object, at least for modeling. All right, so let's begin this exercise. So there's some basic instructions. Again, has everyone registered for Onshape? Has anyone not registered for Onshape? All right. Has everyone been added to the team that will function as a workspace? Has anyone not been added to the team that will function as a workspace? All right, so I'm going to go through some directions on how we're going to do this. So let's begin by going here. So you are able to see these Onshape web, right? All right, I'm just going to assume yes. All
See
right.
the presentation.
All right. I'll try doing this. Okay. Is that
Yeah, I
better?
can see it now.
All right. Thank you. All right. So when we're in Onshape, we have, of course, several options of what to create. Folders, documents, we can import files. So today we're just going to do a simple document. And this document, I'm just going to give it my name. We're going to give it the name and then what we're going to be making. You can name it whatever you want as long as I can tell that it's yours. So I can tell who I'm viewing in the workspace. I'll show you how the workspace works in a moment. So we're just going to create this document. Right now it's just the part studio. So here I now have this document. I can right click it and I can share it. So if everyone is added on the team, I can go over to the Teams tab. I can search for a team. Here I can just click on it, and I can choose preferences for view and edit. So here I'm just going to share that document. So now that I've created the document, I've shared it to the team, of course, as long as you're on the team. I now have this drop-down menu right here. I can click on this arrow, and I can click on the workspace. Good, nice. Maddie has already made it. That's good. So from here, um, you can start editing the document and constructing the part from the technical drawing that I'm going to give you. So you can access this document from anywhere as long as it's appropriately linked. You can access it from the team page, or you can access it from my Onshape since this is shared with everyone in the workspace.
Wait, can you go over how to share again? I missed that.
Yes, no problem.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So we have a document here. We're going to right click. Then down here on the share tab, just going to click share. So we're going to be doing teams. Just go to the teams tab. And then as long as you're added to the team, you can click on the preseason 2020 right here. And then you can click preferences. As long as I can view it, that is fine. These you don't really have to worry about unless you just want to copy it so that the the two documents aren't linked.
I'm
That
not getting the share option. Like,
let's
like you
see.
have to right click, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm getting just open in browser tab, versions and history, labels, move to rename document, copy workspace, and details.
All right, let's see if I can recreate that problem.
Oh yeah, Maddie, I just saw your comment. But even if I go to the document, like the share options like grayed out.
Hmm. In the top right, the share option in the top right.
Yeah.
That's weird. What on-shape plan did you choose?
Uh, was there, it was like a community version or something, right? Or like education. I forgot, but I whatever you said I put in.
Okay, yeah, it should be the education. Um, in the bottom left, does it say try professional or upgrade?
Let me see. It says subscription education.
All right, that's normal. Um, you can continue with your own document. Um, if it's not shared with me, that's okay. Um, I can try figuring this out on forums later.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to share with you. This is a technical drawing. Um, it may look very complex, but when you break it down into its core components, um, thinking in how features are constructed using 2D sketches, um, it's quite easy, kind of. So here, I'll show you this. So reading that technical document, we can imagine this 2D drawing in 3D from several views. For example, this might be 200 millimeters. This might be just 20. And then you just continue dimensioning the features detailed in the technical drawing. Um, I've also provided 3D views, as you can see here, so that you can get a three-dimensional grasp on what it should look like. And then I have the feature dimensions here. And of course, I will be helping you the entire way, providing steps, demonstration, if you want them. And I'll also be viewing your documents that's shared with me occasionally, so that I can see how everyone is doing. So I'm going to put a file in the chat. That's a SolidWorks command. There we go. Okay. All right, I've sent it in the chat. You can download it yourself and you can view it in like, I don't know, photos or something. Or I don't know what you do it in if you have a Mac. So do we have any immediate questions about technical drawings or sketching?
So what are you asking them to do?
All right, so from this technical drawing, we're going to construct this part. It will be using all the features and tools that we have learned so far. This one includes surfaces, but that's not necessary. You don't need to worry about that. So, of course, you can ask me questions. I can share my screen. I can demonstrate how to do something specific, either pertaining to the part and modeling it, or with just the specific feature, like what does this do?
Where would you think they should start?
So I'll show you here. So I have several steps here. So to begin, I would start by doing something like this. I'll open the drawing here. So I know that I have, let me annotate real quick. I know that I have this view right here. All right, this view. So this has several dimensions. This is all in inches. So here I can see 0.6215 inches here. And the arrows here signify the like endpoints of that dimension. So we have this magnitude, and it's in relation to these two lines. All at once, it might not make sense, like if I look at all of these dimensions at once. But when I break it down, here I have just a rectangle that is 0.6215 by, let's read the drawing file, we have 1.25 inches. Then we have this edge and this edge by 1.25 inches. Oh my goodness, that looks so terrible. All right, so using basic shapes, we can construct something like this. And you want to start as basic as possible while reading the dimensions that you are given. So here, let's take a look at what I've done already. So I have this sketch. So here I combined the holes here into this sketch, because here I can see in several of the drawings actually that this, the edge of this, well, the face of this circle is coincident with the bottom edge of the Lego brick. So I have several measurements. So we have the 0.6215 inches by 1.25 inches. And then we can take other dimensions from the drawing and dimension sketch entities how we want to. Like for example, this, the minimum distance between these two circles is not in the drawing, but I can find it by simply subtracting the outermost diameter and the innermost diameter, forming a contour. So I know it can be overwhelming, but
So let me see if I can figure this out. So you're asking them to create this shape. So you've got a rectangle, and then an offset rectangle, and then these three circles with offset circles as well.
yes.
Okay, let's give them some time to see what they can do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how to change the default units?
You can go, so if you're looking at my screen, you can go to your account, into your profile, into preferences, and you can change the units here.
Oh, thanks.
Yes.
Excellent question.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes for different studios, which is what this is a part studio, it doesn't save, and sometimes you can't change it. I haven't figured out how to fix that yet.
So I have that first rectangle down on the top plane, but I kind of
right.
got stuck there because I can't remember how quite to make it into the rectangular prism. So I was hoping I could get help there because I just forgot how.
All right. So I'll show you here. Just give me a minute. So here we have the, oh wait, I forgot. This is wrong document. Okay, so here I have a contour, which the rectangle should have formed, unless
Okay.
something went wrong.
I think
So,
something went wrong because I don't have that. I just have like a flat rectangle. So I think I might
Right.
have done something wrong with the
That's-
first sketch.
That's good though. That's good. That means you have a contour on a plane.
Okay.
And now we're going to use the extrude feature. So it's in the top left here. So
Okay. Yep.
it's the little boxes.
Got it.
So we have an extrude feature. We want
Yeah.
a solid contour.
Got
We
it.
can either do new, add, which in this case we can't add because
Okay.
there's no solids here. And then we can select the face or sketch region. So if I click on that, I can now, oh my.
Oh, yep. I
That's
got
weird.
it.
All right, that's good.
Yes. So what depth should I make it for the just
All right, let's go to the drawing file.
yes, I'm there.
All right, so here we have this view, which is just a section view labeled A1.
All right.
So here we can see from this edge to this edge is 0.375 inches. Now, of course, you can combine features in any way you want for parts and models, as long as they form the ultimate solid or shape. Like I could extrude it to either 0.375 inches, or I could extrude it to 0.3275 inches and still be able to get what I want.
Okay.
All right. Does anyone have any questions on how to dimension, extrude, or cut? Or are curious about any other features?
All right, I'm going to be an idiot here and just ask the question because I'm stumped. Scott here. How do you do that offset thing in that sketch that you had?
All right, I'll show you here.
Thank you. Right, put the square down.
Yep. All right, so we have our initial rectangle,
Yep.
and the on-shape feature selection is very strange, but up here, the thing that
Offset
looks like a
tool.
boot,
That's the offset tool?
that's the offset tool, yes.
Somebody should be shot. Jeez.
And generally, through different CAD softwares, you can search features.
Yeah.
And in the case with Onshape, I could type in something random, seemingly, and it will actually give me a feature that it thinks is related to it.
Sure. Oh,
So, if anybody else is
sorry.
curious,
I'm also stumped because I'm still working on just that like first base shape. Like I can't get the dimensions to show, so I can't like measure it to be the right length and width. Like I got the depth, like that's fine, but I can't get the the prism, the rectangular I can't speak, but the rectangle, I can't get it to be the right length and width. So I just don't.
all right, I'll show you how to do that. So if we are in our sketch, so here you can, I'm pretty sure it should just give you the sketch one in the very top of the feature tree.
Yep.
You can right click, click edit, and then up here, there's the dimension tool. The thing that has the two little arrows. So here, we can now select a sketch entity. So I can click this, and it will dimension it. So let's say that's going to result in some problems. Let's just do 150. So again, so here on the top, by the selection bar, we can click on this. It is highlighted. And now we can click on a sketch entity. It'll highlight that as well. We can click down, then enter in the value.
Okay.
You got it, Maddie?
I think I do.
That's
All
very
right.
critical because that's the way you edit these features.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Features
I think I got
features
it.
are entities.
Could you say that again? Because I've been struggling with that same thing.
Oh.
The dimensions or
Yeah, how do you actually set the dimensions? Because it seems like after you say you drop down a rectangle, it invites you to dimension one of the axes, right? And then you can key in what the value is for that, and then you hit enter is what seems to be acceptable, and then it goes to the other dimension.
which sketch entity are you using? Are you using just the rectangle?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I understand what your problem is. So
Oh, that's how you got that.
yes. So here, dimension tool, I click on the entity.
Yeah.
And then I input a value. And if I want to edit these values, I can double click on them.
Yeah.
And put in a new value.
Okay. Hang on. It's gonna be pick this one. That one. You know, it really helps to have a big screen.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree. Like
Yeah,
I'm trying to do split screen here, but I just can't. It's too difficult.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot that can be done about that, unfortunately, unless you have two
Yeah.
displays.
yeah. Pick that one. And give me the miserable.
All right, I know I'm asking like every question here, but I am stumped again. Like I've been like playing around with the different tools and I just don't know what to do next.
All right, so it looks like you have the rectangular prism. Yes?
Yes, that's
All right,
it.
so I'll show you what to do next.
Okay.
So, let me do this here. All right, so now I have something that looks like your shape.
All right.
So if I go back to the drawing file, I can see here that it's hollow, I guess. It's hollow. So here is a 3D view. So we have this offset rectangle here. It's shelled. So let's see what the dimensions between this wall and this wall here on the inside.
Okay.
So we have let's find it. So we have this value 0.0475 for the wall thickness. Now, we don't necessarily need to know the distance between this edge and this edge, because we can dimension instead the distance between these edges, which we now know is 0.0475 inches.
All right.
So I'll show you what I mean. So you can either do a cut feature, or you can just go into the sketch, and you see what I did here with the offset. I'll show you how to do it again. Oh, apparently I can't delete that. All right, there we go. Okay. So in the menu selection bar, so I have this offset tool. It looks like a boot. It's very strange. I can now highlight the sketch entities that I want that offset to be on. And you can see what the offset does on my screen. So let's say we don't want it in that direction. We can click this arrow right here, and we can switch it. This can be done many ways, actually. So it's currently 5 millimeters. I don't want this to be barely seeable, because right now I don't have the correct values according to the drawing file. So here I have my offset. So now I have technically two contours. I have this and this. So now, if I begin my extrude, let's say I'm just going to select some contours. Instead of making an entire rectangular prism, it'll instead do something like this. And that is how we get to the innermost part.
All right. I think I messed up somewhere along the way.
All right.
I don't know where.
All right.
Kind of a
So
problem.
it looks like you're having an offset surface issue. So
Right.
the offset surface is a I say three-dimensional, but it's not three-dimensional. It's like a 2D feature building off of a three-dimensional object. So that is a feature that is outside of the scope of the sketch. So we don't really need an offset surface at the moment. You could use
Alright.
it to construct this actually, but it's not necessary. So you can go
Okay.
ahead and delete that.
All right.
what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to right click on sketch 1
Okay.
and then edit.
Okay.
All right. Once you're in that sketch menu, in the top selection bar, we have the offset tool. So you should see that you're in sketch 1. You should be able to
Got it.
edit values here. And then we'll click the boot looking thing and then click on the edges that we want to offset.
All right.
Wait a second. How did you find the edges you wanted to offset? How'd you click on them?
I can show you here.
Thank you.
All right. So if we select the offset tool, you can see that it's now blue. It's highlighted. I'm sorry if it's very hard to see. We now have this crosshair. We can left click on different lines or edges, and it will select them.
Are you hitting shift or anything while you're doing this?
No, I'm just left clicking.
Just clicking.
Yes, and then when I say, yes, this looks good, I can just press enter.
Did that? My extrude's not working. I got
All
a
right.
broken extrude.
On-shapes extrudes are inherently broken. So,
So, I spend my time in SketchUp, and what you don't do is to select the edge. What you do is you select the surface that you want to extrude. So like you'd click somewhere between the inner and the outer, and is it like that?
yes, I'll actually show you how to do that right now. So here, if we edit the sketch, so we have different contours.
There,
If I
there,
click
yeah,
on a contour,
there you go. How are you selecting those?
I go over the shaded region and then I just left click.
Oh,
Yes.
let me try that.
So now I can click the extrude feature in the top left,
Jackpot.
the 2 boxes. All right, that's good.
Yeah.
And then of course, if that's not the contour you want, you can just go to the selection thing.
Yeah.
And then
And
just
how
pick.
high is this the 375 or is this the 322?
This is the 375. But of course, you could also do 3275. It's based on your plan of how to make this. You may
Right.
not have a plan, and that's
I
okay.
don't have one.
But you can build off of what you already have
Sure.
and go back and edit things to make them good.
Okay. So I've got an open shoebox now, like you have.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused. So then how do we get from that to the rest of
All right. So now that we have an open shoebox,
it?
So, quick question, actually, before you continue. At the bottom of the box, there is this white rectangle. Is that white rectangle an open surface, or is that still, an extremely thin layer of something? It looks like it's all open.
as far as this solid is concerned,
yeah,
there is nothing there.
Okay.
All right. So
how do you put a lid on the box?
all right, we're going to put a lid on the box.
Nice.
Okay. So these circles, it's the same principle as making this, but you can do that later if you want to. So right now, we're going to take another sketch. We're going to click here, sketch in the top left, and now we can click and select a sketch plane. This can be a defined plane by the document, or it can be a face on the solid that we just made. So here, I'm going to select the top of this, and now you can see I now have a plain sketch on this face.
Yes.
So if I'm going to make a closed box, I now need a solid to intersect with this solid.
Okay.
And I can just show you quickly how I would go about doing that. I would just make another rectangle. That's all.
That makes enough
Wait a minute.
sense.
How are you doing this? Oh, you're doing a straight line.
Yes, right now I'm just doing straight lines.
Okay.
I would do something else, but I'm trying to show these things in a way that doesn't make it super complicated, I guess.
Sure.
As of course, there's enough to think about when you're learning CAD.
Yeah. It looks like when you draw the straight lines, it continues each line until you get what, a closed surface or a closed figure? Because you didn't have to click your first point, click the second one, that's a first line, and then click that second point again to initiate your second line, go to the third point. It just kept on going until you closed the shape.
Yes. All right. So I think I know what you're talking about. So we have our line entity tool. We have,
Yeah, it just keeps on going
we just keep left clicking. Oh no,
until
so
you
many
get back
lines.
to the beginning.
Yes.
No,
You
what
can
would you after that?
also,
Because I did that and then nothing's kind of happening. So do I just confirm it?
yes, you
Or do I have to
can save
extrude?
the sketch. If we want to make a lid, we're going to want to make a solid.
Yeah.
So yes, we're going to extrude the sketch.
Oh, okay.
There
Got
we
it.
go. Also, Scott,
Yes.
we can just press escape if that crosshair is showing.
Yeah.
Like for example, if I want to stop here, I can just press escape and then
Sure.
we'll have these two lines.
Yes, of course. Okay, good.
Good.
So I highlighted with lines around the outer periphery.
All right.
And I clicked the check mark, the green check mark, and it didn't seem to do anything. What did I do wrong here? I got a new sketch out of the deal.
That's good. All right. So extruding from a sketch can either be done outside of the sketch menu and then selecting the sketch, or you can just already be in the sketch. Give me a second. I'm going to delete this so I don't get an issue. So we have this sketch, the sketch that probably looks like yours.
Yep.
And then in the top left, while this sketch is selected, we can press extrude. And you'll notice here, this is not the selection I want. So here are the faces and sketch regions that we can select. I'm going to select this region. It may be kind of hard to see, but if you constructed it, you might have an idea if it's there or not.
Whoa.
And I'll show you what I just did there.
Slow down.
All right. So I have that sketch. I have that sketch right here. I made that sketch on this face. I went to the extrude tool.
Okay.
I have solid, and I can either click new or I can add. Here, I'm just going to add because I don't want two different parts or two different solid bodies. Onshape has different definitions for different things. So here, I have a contour automatically selected, but that is not the contour that I want. So here in this blue box, I can just click the X, and then I can select that inside contour. I'm actually going to delete this and then show you again.
Yeah, show me again. That's right.
All right. So here, I have my sketch that I made on that 2D plane. Top left, extrude. I want the solid, and here I want to add to this. Currently, I have a face of sketch 2 selected as a contour. So I'm still in that sketch making a solid out of that sketch. So here I can select this and I can select this. Really, I only need this, but I can select both. So you can see here I have 2 things in that sketch selected. And now I can begin editing values now that it is in the general shape that I want. But this may not.
Hang on. Yeah. Well, if everybody's running ahead, I'll figure this out. But you left me in the dust there. I've got like 7 sketches open here. It seems like every time I touch something, I get a fresh sketch.
Oh my.
Am I doing something wrong?
All right. My guess is that what you're probably doing. So here you can see so here it's very hard to tell when I'm sharing my screen, but I'm currently not in the sketch. I'm just in the
Right.
part studio.
Right.
So if I was to click this,
Yeah.
and I was to select the face,
Yeah.
sometimes it'll create a new sketch. Sometimes it'll recognize that it's supposed to be derived from a sketch.
Yeah.
But I think in your case, it just made a bunch of sketches.
How do you get rid of sketches?
So here, I can go to the feature tree. I
Did
can
you
right-click.
You right-clicked on it?
Yep, right-click,
Ah.
and at the very bottom, I can click delete.
No. Rename,
Do you have
edit,
the?
copy sketch, hide others, hide all, section view, suppress, add comment, view normal too.
Do you have the sketch open?
No.
Hmm.
How do I open a sketch?
To
Double
open the
click on it.
sketch, yes, you can do that. You can also right-click.
There it is. Yeah, you have
Mm.
to. You actually have to have it open to be able to
All right.
do that.
Yes.
I think I have it down because I was able to get the closed surface. So I have it open on the bottom, solid on the top.
Nice. This is good.
All right.
All right. All right. So now that we have our shoebox,
Mhm.
So let's go back to we can go back to the technical drawing and decide what to make next. So far, we have, let me annotate real quick. We have this box shape. So now, looking at the drawing, the next obvious choice, this of course doesn't have to be my choice, but I could do these circles here.
Okay.
How did you get it to be a solid top?
All right, let's see. So, is the problem you're experiencing
I got that.
this?
I see what you have right now. Oh, how do you get that to be a solid top?
All right. So do you have only the edge?
Go back a step or two. Yeah, it looks like, nope. Yeah, like that.
All right. So if it looks like this, so in the sketch, we actually have two contours. So here, this blue box
Yeah.
is our contour selection.
Okay.
With Onshape, it's extremely hard to see that other contour when you're making a feature. But if you can highlight it in the sketch,
Yeah.
it is classified as a contour.
Hmm.
So here, I'm just going to go back here. Let's say I wanted to select some contours. So here, I click on the blue box. I can click on the center, and I can click on the edge. Or I can just do the center.
That is obscure. Whoa. It's not obvious.
Yeah, Unshape is unique.
Hey, Caleb.
Yes.
So I made my 2D sketch, well, like the two rectangles and then the three circle. Yeah, so mine looks like that.
All right, that's good. All right, so let's see. So we have this sketch. Oops. We have this sketch. And we have this. So I assume that you have like this rectangle as its own sketch.
I have three sketches. So the first one is hold up. Yeah, I can't tell which one's which, but I have three sketches like you do.
All right. So from those sketches, I'll show you something quick here. So I'll just roll all of this back. So from this sketch, I can open the sketch, I can edit it. Of course, I have my dimensions here. So from a sketch, the point here is to make a solid. And the feature that we want to use is the extrude. So I can show you where that is. So we have our sketch open. In the top left,
Wait,
we have
so
these two boxes.
I think I have my like the inner rectangle as part of my second sketch.
All right. So that's okay. You can still make the box, but it would probably be better, since you'd have less features, to put that inner rectangle in that first sketch. You can
Should I-
see what I did here.
Yeah, should I go ahead and change it?
Yeah, you can do that.
All right. All right, I changed mine.
All right, that's good. Nice.
So how should I go about extruding it?
All right, so if you can see my screen here, I'll just make a new document. So here we have our sketch, which you already have. Okay, so let's make it look like that. Oops. All right, so now that we have our sketch, we have a rectangle inside another rectangle.
Mhm.
And if we left click, we can see that we have two contours. 1, 2 in yellow. All right, so when we have the sketch opened, as in, it should either be blue or black, not gray.
Mine's black.
All right, that's good. Black is good. All right, so in the top left here, we have the extrude feature, which just looks like two boxes. We can click on the extrude feature, and then we have several options. So here, I want the solid,
Mhm.
and since of course I don't have any other solids, I'm going to click new. In this blue box, I can choose where I want that solid to start. It's a contour. So I can click on, let's say, this edge. It might auto select that edge actually.
Yeah, it did.
All right, that's good. Or I could continue selecting. All right. And then of course I
Question
can,
on that? How did it know to select that region between the two rectangles and not the inner rectangle entirely?
that's a good question. It mostly has to do with machine learning and the behavior of like um intended for a feature. Like
Okay.
this is an incredibly common way to start a part. You have two contours, it's going to pick one of them, and it's probably going to be the outermost one.
Okay. And question on terminology. When you selected the region between the two rectangles,
Hmm.
you use the term contour. You didn't use the term surface.
Yes.
Is that a reserved word in Onshape? That a surface
Um,
is in fact called a contour?
you can identify them as either since they have zero thickness.
Yes.
Surfaces can act a little differently, however, because
Okay.
you can do, let's say I want to make, I can make a sketch on the surface, but a contour is just a filled space or region in a
Okay.
sketch.
All right. So it's a filled space. Okay.
Yes.
So I have that part selected automatically.
All right. This does it look like this?
Oh, well, wait. What's the depth supposed to be?
All right, let's go to the drawing file.
Um,
So, oh my goodness, it looks terrible in the photo. All right, so here, if we look at the drawing file, we can tell that ignoring the circles, this part, section A2, which is here on the
Mhm.
right, is what we just made. This face is what we have just sketched. So now let's go to a different view and try to find a value that gives us the height of that solid. So here we have the arrows indicating endpoints of dimensions. So here, in this case, it is 0.375.
0.375.
But you could
Okay.
also do 0.3275 if that is your plan.
Is there a difference?
Um, Magnitude, yes. Construction of the part, kind of. You still end up with the same thing.
Right.
Okay.
It's just, but the difference is the 3275 is to that's the inner surface, the lower surface.
Yes.
375 upper surface.
Yes.
Yeah.
Caleb, any recommendations?
Recommendations for how to construct a specific part,
Yeah,
or
to the height, what height to pick.
I would recommend just going with the 0.375.
Okay.
You can do that.
All right.
And so that leaves the surface thickness, sorry, that top top thickness, I guess, being, have to do it here, 0.375 minus 0.3275, which is 0.475. So it's the same as the
Yes.
wall thickness.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Oops.
So what's the next step? Or is everyone up to speed with getting what Caleb's described so far?
It looks like most people have the box. Some people have the circles and the feature
I've been
associated
working
with
on
them.
the circles. I'm just
All
trying
right.
to, I'm just playing around and seeing what I can figure
That's cool.
out.
Sure. I think that's actually half of the battle, is just playing around with it.
Yep. That's exactly what it is.
CAD is not something you watch somebody else do. CAD is something you do and figure out where you have questions and then get a hold of Caleb.
Yeah, just
Yes.
watch the game, okay?
So somebody is watching my chat.
Yeah.
How far should I extrude the inner rectangle, the inner contour?
The inner rectangle? Do you mean like this, or the lid piece?
Like the you see how like the middle is like has nothing in it?
Yes.
Yeah, to that part.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a sketch. Since we want this solid to start from the top of this one, depending on what dimension for the height we chose. So here, we're going to click this face. I now have a sketch plane on this face. This one that I have highlighted here.
Oh, wait. So sketch. Oh, okay. I think I got it. Maybe. Wait,
All right.
maybe. We'll see.
If there's an error, just let me know.
Okay.
This is not obvious, I have to tell you.
Yes, none of CAD is obvious.
Yeah. Until, of course, you've done it a bunch, in which case, then it's like, why doesn't anybody else get this?
Mhm. then again, I've also like spent weeks CADing and then
Right.
days watching YouTube on this.
Right.
All right. So we have this sketch.
Yeah.
All right. So we want that lid to be coincident to this, well, the edges of the lid to be coincident to the edges of this outer solid.
Mm-hmm.
So here, now you can see what I just did. I just took the line tool, which is right next to the extrude. I click the point. I can also select the vertex on this body. And I can drag. And now
Wait a
I have a
second.
contour.
Sometimes you're selecting the outer rectangle. Sometimes you're selecting the inner rectangle with your line. And I'm not quite following what you're doing there.
All right. Let's see.
I thought you just did the inner one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought initially too.
Mhm.
And then I tried. Then it looked like he was doing the outer one.
Yeah. Of course, there are multiple ways to do CAD. So here, what I did is I just had the inner part and the outer part. I extruded both contours. This, of course, was for demonstration. So I had the outer part and the inner part. And then it intersected with this solid body.
All right. So I have the lines on that.
All right. So now we're going to do the same thing that we did to make that first solid. So we're going to click the extrude tool. Here in this case, I'll select the outside as it usually does. I'm just going to select the inside. So now,
So it pops up, it looks like. And that's not
yes.
what you mean. You
What
didn't
do you
mean to have it pop up. You really want it to go down into.
Yes, but that's when I can start editing the options that I want. So here I have the contour selection. So instead of the auto selected the outside, I deleted that and just selected the inside. I could do both, but it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Then of course, I have the direction. You can either drag this arrow down,
Oh, cool. Or
you can just click this
there you go.
arrow looking thing here.
Yeah. So that reverses the face. Sorry, the direction. That's kind of like a plus minus sign.
Yes.
Okay.
And then what should be the depth?
Oh yeah. How did you specify the depth?
All right, the depth. So you can see here in the drawing.
Mm-hmm.
So here we have this value here, 0.375, which is adjacent to the top of the lid that we just made or are making. And then this here, specifying from this edge to the sort of top of the container, if you will, if
The
you're
inner
on the
surface.
inside. Yeah, yeah. All right, we can take the difference of these, and it just so happens to be 0.0475, which is the same thickness as the walls of the container.
Okay, gotcha.
All right.
So is it supposed to be hollow on one side or not?
Yes.
Yes.
I can show you here. Of course, I can't. I do actually have a copy of this in the workspace. If you want to view.
Yeah, mine is hollow. Never mind. Yeah, it's
All right,
good.
that's good. But here's what it will ultimately look like.
Is there a way, if you can go back to the lidded box, is there a way to change lighting on it so that you can actually see inside of the box? Because when I look
yes.
underneath mine, oh, never mind. I can see the edge there. Never mind.
Was it just a matter of your viewing angle?
So no, what it was is when I look at this, it seems like sometimes the view is an X-ray view and you can see internal features. And you can even select like this. This is more of an X-ray view where, you know, everything's kind of got a haze to it for where it's solid.
Yes.
And when you look at this, it's not easy to see unless you do a real side view that the thickness of that top infill is anything other than 0.
Mhm.
But you know, if you do that edge view like you had a second ago,
Oh, now
see, it's gone there. There it is. Yeah, there you can see that you actually have finite thickness to the surface. But this is not. It's an X-ray view, but not quite an X-ray view. It doesn't give you the wireframe lines that show you
Mhm.
where every feature is at.
Yes. Onshape generally doesn't include edges
Mhm.
in some features previews.
Yeah.
This just so happens to look like a contour that just appears somewhere
Sure.
on the model. Really, what you can do is you can just check the extrude, and then you can just look around.
Yeah.
And then it looks like, oh yeah, that's a solid. And if I select that face and click a view, oops.
There, yeah, you can see that there's actually a feature there, and it looks like it's about right. The other thing I noticed, this appears to be presented in what's called an isometric view, where you know, if you look at that left front edge, it since it doesn't have perspective, it actually looks a little bit narrower than the far upper right edge.
Yeah.
Is there a way to turn on perspective?
So let's see. Check the view options real quick. Yes, turn perspective on. You can do that if you want. I know that I've used SketchUp and it actually does look something like this.
Yeah.
So
How did you turn that on? You right click
so
something. Oh, that one.
yes. So right here next to the viewing cube, there's another cube. It's just the camera and under options. There are several options. And here I can just turn perspective off.
Yeah.
Or I can turn it on.
Sure.
All right, so here's what I've gotten. I made I made one of the pegs, but I can't quite figure out how to. I switched. I couldn't figure out how to do those things on the underside, but I figured out how to get the depth of the peg, but I can't figure out how to get like the solid
All right,
surface on
let's
the top.
see. Okay. So at the moment, we've just created a surface.
Yeah.
When you initially encounter surfaces, you're probably going to be really confused because, of course, it has a thickness of 0. So here, I'll show you how to make just a regular solid. So here I have a sketch plane. I can make an entity. I won't define it, not for demonstration. So I think what you did, is you clicked surface and then selected the contour like this, yeah?
All right.
All right, so you can use surfaces, but they can get very complicated. Later, when you experiment with surfaces, if you want to, you'll understand when to use them or when to not use them. Right now, we can just use a solid. So when we're in the sketch and we click extrude, we're going to have a solid, and we can either add or create a new solid. I'm just going to click add and then click the checkbox.
All
Does that answer your question?
I can see if that'll work for me.
All right.
Wait a second. How did you put a lid on that?
On this.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back to sketch 1 first. So here in sketch 1, we had 2 regions that can be defined by the sketch.
Yeah.
We have the inside one and the outside one. And we just wanted the outside one. So that's all we selected. Here in sketch 3, we only have a single contour, and I selected that contour.
Yeah.
So it extruded this entire contour some distance. Does that make sense?
I think so. So
All right.
hold on a second. So if you did a cross-sectional slice through the whole box here, I'm probably getting ahead of everybody, but if you did a cross-sectional slice through the box and through that cylinder,
Mm-hmm.
does
Let me
it
see if I can remember how to do it in Onshape.
does it have a bottom to it? There you go. There you go.
Like this.
Pull that out. Oh, you went too far.
Where am I going?
So you can cross-section it again.
Okay. Oops.
Okay, now if you can pull that, yeah, oh, there you go. Okay, so it doesn't have just a cylinder sitting on top of that top surface.
Mhm.
It's actually in the cylinder is fully integrated into that top surface. It's like you pulled a piece of it out
Yes.
of the top, and it's not
Yes.
two separate objects.
I can show you how to make that different. So here I still have my cross-section view.
Yeah.
So in the Extrude tab, I can either click New or Add if I'm going to make a solid. I could also do Intersect, but that's not a tool I want to use right now. So here, if I click New, it'll make an entirely new part.
Okay.
So here, if you can see here in the bottom left, under Parts, it only has one part.
Okay.
That's because with the Add feature, it is merging the two.
I see.
buttons.
So add is what you really want to do in this case.
Yes, you could also do New, but I mean, I don't know. It's your preference.
Well, I think for the moment, whatever your preferences are great for everybody else, or at least the people who are chatting with you, because you know that it's helping to kind of catch how to do this.
Yes.
So your preferences are great,
All right. Thank you.
and we can figure out other preferences later.
And this is what that section view would look like.
Yeah, that's
I
what I was
just
getting
had
at, where it's got an actual dividing line in there, and that's not what you want if you want to make this like if you're doing an injection molded part or something like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Could you help me find the dimension for the circles on top that say Lego?
Yes, I can show you here. Let's see. So here,
I see it now.
all right, that's good.
So is anybody modeling in the Lego logo yet?
Go watch the game.
Leo was pretty close to getting that done. He's almost
Excellent.
at that step.
Excellent.
What's the diameter of the pins on the brick?
You can see here. So here, it's in the center. It's just a detailed view of this section view from this piece.
Hey, let me get my magnifying glass. Oh, you'll do it for me, thanks.
So here we have 0.19 inches from
Oh,
this
that's what that
edge to this edge.
is.
With this
0.19.
detailed drawing,
Yes.
so you can see the circle here, B1, D1, that's B1 detail 1.
Okay.
I can scale it so that it's easier to see.
Okay. So the pins are 0.19 in diameter. What's the height of the pin?
The height of the pin, you can
0725.
see, yes.
Okay.
Very good.
When you specify a circle,
That's good. Yes.
are you specifying diameter or radius?
Um,
I think it's diameter.
for it depends. If it's an arc, it'll generally automatically do radius.
Yeah.
If it's a complete circle, it'll usually do diameter.
Yes.
All right, I gotta head out right now, but I'll continue to work on this within the next week too. But
All
thank
right.
you.
No problem.
Thank you.
I forgot what's the height on this?
0.0725 inches.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Darn it. I got that same, just a cylinder without a top on it.
right.
What did I do wrong here?
I'll show you. So here, I don't remember how to get out of section view. Here we have our extrude.
Yeah.
What you just did is you clicked surface.
Yeah.
Instead of solid.
Solid. So the default is surface. I meant solid.
Yes.
Uh-oh. I click solid and it doesn't let me select the circle anymore. What am I doing wrong here? Control Z. You know, I'll tell you, I wish life had a Control Z on it.
All the time.
That would be so handy, right?
I have a
Yep.
question. Can you copy and paste the pegs or do you just do all three? Like, is there a way you can?
You can copy and paste sketches, but not features.
Got it.
However, you can use what's called a pattern.
I was looking at that earlier.
Yep. So let me get out of section view real quick.
I think I might be able to figure it out, but if I can't.
All right.
The circular pattern, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And sometimes it's really picky about what it wants to copy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When you start experimenting with it, you'll
I
realize
noticed that immediately.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need your help with this one too, because looking at the circular pattern, I don't quite know exactly what to select.
Okay, so with a circular pattern, it'll actually rotate about an axis. Here, we don't have to rotate about an axis. We want a linear pattern, and I can show you what that looks like. Circular does not necessarily mean that you're copying a circular solid. Circular, it refers to body patterns around an axis.
All right.
So this is a case where instead of having add, we would want new.
Okay.
And I'll show you what happens when I do that. So instead of having one part, which would be highlighted here like this, if I just had add on that cylinder, I now have two parts. One,
Okay.
and 2. All right, so now if I go back to the linear pattern, here I now have some options, and this time I don't come up with an error message. So entities to pattern. Well, let's see. What entities can I select? Let's see. So I just selected part 2, and it was, yes, that's fine. I'll select a direction. Direction, you can pretty much click anything except for vertices or points. So here, I just clicked this edge. So now the pattern will go along, it'll be parallel to this edge, like this. All right, so now I have a bunch of settings that I can do. So here I can specify distance. And I can specify the number of instances. Let's say I want 3, maybe. But as you can see here, it's off the part where I want them to be. So I can reverse, and it's still off the part. There we go. Okay, so with patterns, generally you want to have the body or entity you want to pattern separate from the main body.
All right.
Otherwise, you'll just copy the entire thing and it'll look like a mess.
I think that's what happened to me. I think when I was making the peg, I had add instead of new.
I know. I've done that so many times.
So, because I'm only seeing part 1, which I think that's my problem. So I got to go back and fix that.
In SolidWorks, there isn't this issue. You can just copy features. But
All right, I fixed it. So now I'll go to linear pattern and part 2, direction. This one, sure. And then what was that distance? What should I do for distance in between each one? Because I'm looking at the drawing. I can't quite find it.
all right, so with the linear pattern, that distance that we specified is going to be the distance from the center of that body to the next body's center. So in this drawing file, I have, do you see this section V in the center?
Hold on. All right, yeah.
All right. So, oh wait, hold on.
You can look at that later, Caleb.
All right. So here we have reading a technical drawing for the first time. This is not very intuitive, but what this line here in the center means is that this cylinder and this cylinder are concentric. I'm having a hard time saying something other than concentric.
That
So,
makes sense. Yeah.
all right. So here we have this distance between the centers.
Oh, all right.
Here it's 19/60 inches.
Something in some decimal.
Yeah.
Wow. That is a busted ruler. 19/60 inches. I've never heard of that. Can't you just turn it into
0.3167.
Yeah.
Can't you type
Something
in
like
the
that.
fraction and it converts it automatically?
For drawing files, do they
Yeah.
convert automatically?
No, I mean when you're sketching, you don't have to like put it in a calculator.
Oh,
No, actually, here I can show you that. I forgot to mention that.
oh, it looks like you don't have to. You're right.
Yeah, so
That's what I
there
do.
are very basic mathematical operations that you can do when you're defining in a sketch. So here, I have this random dimension. The operations are what you'd expect. I can do, I can find the difference between these two values. If I don't want to do that much work, though here it's very simple, I would never do that. So let's say it was this number divided by 23.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to do it in my head. So I have this division symbol acting as an operator.
You
I can
don't
just-
need to put an equals in front of it or anything?
Nope. Since of course it wouldn't be like, oh yes, this is a fraction. Like in Excel, it'll just do it automatically as if it has the equals here.
Cool.
I'll actually try that. Yeah, it comes up with an error.
Where did you see the error?
Huh?
Where was the error shown?
Oh, I tried putting an equal sign there.
Yeah, but
Uh,
where does it show error? Oh, it just highlights it as blue.
Yeah, in Onshape it just highlights it because
Sure.
extra windows in a web browser.
Yeah.
It, depending on your computer, can actually like really mess up processing speed.
Of course.
So, as you can see, it's very small.
Mm-hmm. Very small.
Yes.
Could you help me with the linear pattern for the text?
Yes, sure.
Jeez, show off. Yeah, how do you do
Okay.
that?
So,
Do you have height to the text, by the way?
yes, I do. It's actually in this detailed drawing. It's very hard to see, but there's
is.
not much I can do about that.
Oh my goodness. It is
This number here.
1.25 thousandths of an inch. It's less than the thickness of a piece of paper.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Yeah, typically a piece of paper is about about 100 microns, which is what's inches on that? 25 microns per mil. Anyway, it's like a quarter roughly of a sheet of paper. That's very tiny.
Yes.
And it's popping out rather than pushing in.
Yep, it's popping
Yes.
out.
Do that.
All right, so I'll show you how to do the linear pattern now. So if I have this here, I have my single
Oh, you did single letters.
bodies. You can do it pretty much any way you want,
Okay.
as long as these bodies are separate from the main one.
Okay.
Otherwise, it will either just copy the main one or give you an error.
Yeah.
So here, I'll do this.
So should I do the pattern after I extrude the text?
After you what the text?
So I've got the text on one of the circles. Should
Alright.
I do the linear pattern in the sketch, or should I extrude it first and then do a linear pattern?
You can do both, but doing a linear pattern in a sketch will actually result in more work.
Okay.
So you can just extrude first, and then you can do the following that I'm about to show you, if you're ready.
One sec.
For So I think you're about at the end of your time here.
Mhm.
But before you go, can I show you guys something?
Sure.
Oh, don't be frightened. I'm going to turn on my camera. Let's see here. Oh, I think it's just me. Anyway, have you guys ever heard of something called a do-nothing machine?
I think
No,
so.
I have not.
I feel like it, but I could not tell you what it is.
So this is a do-nothing machine that I put together. It's based on a Arduino board, and it's got a little servo. I don't know if you can see that. And it's got a switch right here. And the servo has a little arm, kind of see it there, so that when you push the switch, if I can do this, push the switch, it flips it the other way for you.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Interesting. I've
it's
seen
a-
a few of those.
it's a do-nothing machine, but this one's interesting because it's got attitude supposedly where after the fourth one, that's the fourth. So now it kind of puts it there, and it's like, no, just leave it like that. And then you do it again. Keep it there. All right, fine. And then we do it one more, and it's got a different pattern. Tapping on it. Keep it there. No, I want it.
Is that done with just several presets
Yeah.
decided by random integers generated by another Yep.
It's one of 10 patterns, and the pattern specifically is randomized after the fourth one.
Yes.
And then after a while, it forgets, and then it keep it there. Oh, yeah, okay. Anyway, I hacked this together earlier today.
Nice.
Oh, it's kind of creeping up on it. Oh, there it goes. Oh, I didn't get my fingers out of the way.
I've got my text set up on
Right.
one of the
Alright.
circles.
Nice. All right. So I'll show you how to do the linear pattern here. So I'm not in a sketch at the moment. I just have the extruded text separate from the main body. So here I can click this 4 cube looking thing right here. I'll click linear pattern. And here I have several options. Here I can click the entities. In this case, since I have these as separate parts, I can actually do that. I can just select them here, or I could select them down here if I knew the part numbers.
Okay, so it looks like mine aren't separate parts. That's why I
All
can't
right.
get them.
I'll show you how to do that. So here's my extrude. As you can see here, there's the sketch.
Mhm.
So with this solid, there are several options that you can do. In the case of what do we want to do here, we could do new.
Okay.
And that will make them all separate from the main body.
Okay, I see.
Just to demonstrate, if I did add instead, they would, oh, hold on, give me a minute.
Yeah, I can select them now.
Yeah. Oh, I have a different feature driving that Boolean operation. All right, so if you click add, it would merge. Now back to the linear pattern. So here I'm just going to click the entities. So here I have my entities selected. And now direction. So I want this to be patterned this way, in this direction. So I'm just going to click this edge. So here I've clicked this edge. And now I can see here, I have a preview of where this other instance would end up. So now I'm going to edit some things. So in the previous, in a few questions ago, we found out that the distance between these two cylinders is what is it?
0.19.
0.1? No, that's the diameter. 19 over 60
you're right.
inches.
That's right.
Yes.
19 over 60.
So yes, there we go. Okay. Now we have this. We have another feature, and if I click now, you can see it copied it. But of course, I want more, so I'm just going to edit the instance count. I want 4 instances. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I could do new, or I could do add. Add sometimes results in some weird behaviors with linear patterns. So now I have this font on all of these cylinders.
Is there any significance to the color difference?
It defines them as different solids.
Okay.
So if I select this part, for example,
Yeah.
you can see I can just have this part. But if they all happen to be merged, it's all one part.
Right.
All right, you want to look at my document and see if I missed anything?
Sure.
Wow.
Excellent.
Very impressive. You even got the radius on the pins.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out right now.
Nice. That's good. It doesn't
Looks
look like anything.
Looks like your right-hand Lego label is a little bit off to the, a little far to the right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You can play around with like what font you're using.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the ones on the left are okay. The ones on the right, it's a little bit too far.
Mm-hmm.
Very impressive.
Have you taken any PLTW courses?
Yeah, I took
Or
IE last year and I'm taking POE this year.
Nice. That's good.
I think I fixed it now. I think my left pins were a little bit off. The text was right.
Oh.
Yep. You got it. That's good. Give me more measurements. That is not more measurements. Ah, whatever. All right.
Very nice.
Yeah, I can't figure out how to change that diameter because I need it smaller, but I've just been looking and looking and
Hold on, let me see. Ah, all right. So you have an undefined diameter.
nice.
So I'll show you here. I'll actually just make a new document.
I'm gonna head out. Thank you, Caleb.
No problem.
It's nice
Goodbye.
practice.
Hmm. All right, let's see. So here I have an undefined circle. I'm just going to quickly give it a diameter. So it's the same thing.
How are you going to do that?
All right, it's the same thing as dimensioning a line or something similar.
Okay.
So here we have the dimension tool. up
Did you
at the
pick
top.
it? Did you select it already?
No, but I think I can. Oh,
Okay.
no, it just deselects it.
All right.
Okay, so here I have the dimension tool.
Right.
I can just click on the circle and it'll give me a value, an initial value. And then I can edit the value. And this is its diameter. This, oh my gosh, it's hard to see. Why is it so small? This, what it looks like a no solution symbol, symbolizes that this is a diameter dimension.
Okay.
So how do you locate them?
The circles.
Yeah. In
All
your
right.
intended location.
So here it's just undefined. If I select a view from the top, or I can select view normal to sketch plane, normal to, just looks like this is perpendicular to the sketch face.
Yeah.
So here I can begin either A, defining it like this.
Whoa, how'd you do that?
So here, all I did was I just took the
line.
line tool.
Okay. Yeah,
I took
line.
the line tool, and then from the origin, I did this, and I
So
just made a triangle.
so one thing I've noticed is that lines are not necessarily aligned with the planes, with the axes.
Mhm.
How do you force something to be perfectly in alignment with an axis?
All right, so in Onshape, it's a little strange. Not super different compared to other programs, but
Yeah.
here to the right of the dimension tool, we have
Yeah.
several relations that we can pick from.
Mhm.
So we have vertical, and we have horizontal, we have perpendicular, we have
Yeah.
many things. So I could either choose perpendicular, since this line is
Sure.
already horizontal, or I could just click this vertical relation
Mhm.
and then just tap
Okay.
on that line.
So that's good where you're doing it as an afterthought. Is there any way to do it while you're drawing?
Yes, it will sometimes out of dimension. So here I have my line.
Yep.
This you can see here. It
Mhm.
would automatically relate it as perpendicular to this line here.
Sure.
Or I could do this, and it will put the horizontal relation there.
Oh, it's dotted, it looks like, or something like that.
Yes. Making it create an automatic relation just involves visual guessing of
Mhm.
where the relation would make the line be.
Yeah.
So here I have perpendicular, and here I have horizontal. And then I have this.
Okay.
All right, so now I'm just going to define this circle. So I could either A, do an angle and then define a side, or I could just define two sides. And of course, this doesn't have to be from the origin. It can be from an edge,
Right.
like this edge, for example.
Sure. In this case, the origin is a reasonable starting point because everything is kind of scattered around that center point. But like you say, an edge is a reasonable locating or means of locating objects also.
Yes. I
Yeah.
could even do this. Let's say I wanted to define, for some reason, from this vertice
Mm-hmm.
to this center line.
Mhm.
I can actually do this, oops, like this. And it'll give me, visually it looks like this.
Mm.
I just defined this line.
Yeah.
That's all.
Cool.
And relations, you just have to get used to what they do and how to use them. Of course, they have names if you hover your mouse over them, but sometimes it doesn't convey all of what they can do.
Mhm.
So dimensioning this circle, if I went back to the drawing file, so here I can see the circle is defined over here and here. So I'm just going to look at this one on the very right. So we have 0.15 from this edge.
The outer edge. Yeah.
Yes.
The outer face.
Yes. And then it is also 0.15 from this edge. We can see this in this detailed view. We have two dimensions. We have this one on this side, and then this one from this side. And these are all, their center points are all vertical or horizontal to each other on a grid. So what this looks like when you're defining it is like this. It is 15 something units from that edge, and then 15 from here.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we no longer need these. We can just get rid of those. But if I want to define it like this, generally, I would not leave these as solid lines. If they're solid, solid black, they can be used in features, and I don't intend for these lines to be used in features. So I can just select other lines using the left mouse button,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can right click, then select, is construction here? No, it's not in here. Construction is right here, right under the chain links right here. I can click construction, and now you can see that they're dotted,
Sure.
and they will no longer be used in features unless it's a unique feature, or if it's only defined by like a line, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And the hotkey for doing this is Q. I can press Q, and now it's construction.
Cool.
It's good.
All right. My problem is that I did the thing and it was unaligned. So then I decided to make all 8 pegs, and now they're all unaligned. And I need a way to align them, and I don't know if I have to do that from the start again, or if there's a way to just like move a pattern,
Let's see.
or I just have
So-
to delete it and start again.
No, it's okay. You can keep the pattern. What we want to do is to move the original cylinder.
That's what I was thinking, but I don't know
Yes.
how to do that.
All right. So it looks like one of your original cylinders is in sketch 3.
Yes, that's this center one.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we can move that cylinder by deleting relations. I'll show you how to do that. So here I can just click on the entity. Oh yeah, I need the sketch open. I can either click on or hover over the entity, and it'll give me some relations. Like I click on this one. Actually, this one doesn't really have any. If I click on this one, for example, this one's vertical. I can click on that icon and then press delete. Now it's gone. The relation is gone. Same thing for this one. It is gone as well. And then it looks like you defined your circle about the origin in the center of this rectangle, depending on how you defined the rectangle.
Okay.
In this case, you can see here, we don't actually have a cylinder in the very center. We
Yeah.
do, however, have one on the bottom. You can see here in the
Okay.
hollow portion of the box. So what you'd want to do is to delete the relations of the circle from the origin and then move it like this. I'll just show you that again. Let's say this line, this point on this line is coincident with the origin. I can click on the line. Where is it? Sorry. I click on the origin and the line and then delete the relations. Now I can move it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right.
I'm going to duck out.
All
Thanks
right.
so much, Caleb.
No
All
problem.
right.
See you guys.
Bye.
So how did I get to? So I just have to do that for just that center one, or for which?
Well, let's see. So just the center one. It looks like, hold on, give me a second. So sketch 3 is in the center.
Yep.
And currently we don't want it in the center.
Yeah.
And then sketch 4 is undefined. This is all easily fixed by defining the center of the circle to the edge.
Okay.
And here, if we look at the technical drawing, we can see here on this part, we have 0.15 inches from this edge to the center of that circle.
Okay. That was 0.15.
Nice,
Alright.
good.
Does that look right, or do I need to? It looks like the rest of the pattern didn't follow, so do I just have to redo that?
So let's see, you have one linear pattern, and then you have two linear patterns, and then two separate cylinders in different sketches. So what you can do is, instead of having only one cylinder in sketch 4, you can have another on the opposite side.
Okay.
So you'll end up with something that looks like this. Just like that. And then you can do a linear pattern for both of these at the
Okay.
same time.
All right. So the easiest way to be just to kind of delete all of those and just, except for that one corner one, and just, I think that might be the easiest one, just delete linear pattern 2.
No, linear pattern 2 is correct.
Okay, because it looks like what happened. It looks like there's more space in between. Ever since I aligned that one with the edge, it looks like there's more space between. God, I just selected everything between the like first two and the rest of them
First two.
after I moved it. Like,
Let's see.
but I could just be looking at it wrong. But
I think it's a perception trick.
yeah, it could very well be.
Like, let me
Okay.
see.
So I'm gonna go ahead and
Yeah, they're all the same distance apart.
okay.
You got it.
So I'm gonna catch again. Let's try this. Oh, not there. And then let's fix the diameter of that. Okay. I think I can do that the rest of that tonight, and then I can try to keep working on it till next week.
Nice. That's good. Thank you.
All right,
You
thanks for
can
all the help tonight.
you can either Slack me if you have any questions, or you can look on YouTube if you sort of know what you're trying to do, or you can just keep experimenting. Like, for
Alright.
example, if you come across an issue that results in an error in a linear pattern, you can try different options.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to end the meeting here. Thank you for attending.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.